Hey everyone, this is Adam Elenbaas from Nightlight Astrology. Today we're going to take a look at Mercury's upcoming Cazimi in the sign of Leo. That is the moment at which Mercury is exactly conjoined the sun. This is called being at the heart of the sun. I'm going to give you 5 things to watch for, and then we are briefly going to refresh on the topics of the whole sign house that Mercury is traveling through in its retrograde right now. In your birth chart, those will be brief sort of horoscopic reminders and overviews of the topics most likely involved in this heart of the sun moment for Mercury. So I hope that you will enjoy this little blend of content formats today, what to watch for, and some horoscopes at the same time. I'm doing this because typically I might separate the episodes, but we have our new co-host joining us over the next 2 days to close out the week, looking at August in its entirety and then doing horoscopes for August. So I want to try to squeeze a few things in at once here, and we were looking at Venus's upcoming square to Saturn and Neptune yesterday. If you missed that episode, you can go and check that one out. That's going to give you a little bit more on the upcoming Venus square, which is also some of this week's big astrology. Anyway, before we get into it, as always, remember to like and subscribe. It's my goal within a year, maybe by next summer, to reach 100,000 subscribers on the channel. I feel like that's a good manageable goal for a year. Maybe we'll get there sooner, but we get there because people like yourself who enjoy this content, who appreciate it, who watch it regularly, just take a second to subscribe. It helps us tremendously. Give us a thumbs up if you haven't yet. That also helps. You can find transcripts of any of these daily talks on the website, which is nightlightastrology.com. I am very excited to announce that we are having our first ever in-person retreat style training program next June. So if you want to come study with us in a brand new program that complements all of our other programs, this is going to be an immersive retreat taking place in Mexico next June. Information is going to be on the events page next week. We don't have it up yet, but I'm just sort of previewing it, sneak previewing it now. I will tell you all about the retreat, what it includes. This retreat is going to be focused on the premise of all Nightlight programs, which is that astrology is a form of divination. And what does that mean? What does it mean to live in a divinatory cosmos? What does it mean to participate in a divinatory mode of knowing? This is going to be a really awesome experiential immersion into astrology as divination, where we work on charts. We're going to have live clients that we're working with at the retreat center. We're going to do yoga and movement and meditation every day, while also taking some really deep dives into the history and philosophy of divination and astrology. So I can't wait. That'll be up on the events page coming soon. It's limited spots available. I'll tell you everything you need to know about it coming up soon. In the meantime, check out the live talks. You'll see my talk for August is on the 7th house. If you want to learn more about the 7th house, the place of love and sexuality, marriage, this house is one of the most popular houses that people typically want to talk about in a reading. If you want to learn more about how this house works and learn more about it in your own chart, check this out. It's on August 14th, my monthly webinar. If you can't attend live, you get the recording later. All right. So on that note, let's turn our attention to the real-time clock. I am previewing this Mercury Cazimi today, which comes through on the 31st. So we're not quite at the spot of the Cazimi as of today. It is Wednesday the 30th as you're listening to this, or that's the day that this video is being published, I should say, which means that we're still in the combustion. And then tomorrow, all of a sudden, we go through the magical portal of a Cazimi. The Cazimi is thought of as the seeding point and the rebirth of Mercury's cycle. Mercury appears as an evening star, spends some time in the evening star position, retrogrades, falls under the beams of the sun, goes invisible, was thought to be entering the underworld in the ancient astrological imagination. And then as it enters the underworld, it goes through an experience of being reborn. That rebirthing moment is considered a very empowering moment for Mercury, as well as being the seeding of a new cycle that will start to manifest as Mercury then moves out into the morning star position, which will happen in the weeks ahead. So if we stretch this out, I'm going to push this forward a couple of weeks. You'll notice that right about here, we have just a little over 15 degrees of separation by August 14th. Let me back this up just a touch. We get it to about 15 degrees away, and Mercury's stationing and turning direct about August 11th, and also making its appearance as a morning star right around that time. Between now and then, we're in the process of the new Mercury being born. This moment may be rather invisible or unconscious, but if we track this moment forward over the next couple of weeks within the whole sign house of Leo, which we will also do today through some horoscopes, you get to see the seeds of a new cycle showing up, expressing themselves, saying, hello, here's what's been cooking in the alembic, the sacred alchemical container of the psyche, and some particular area of our life is ready to show what's been cooking behind the surface. The peak moment of alchemization often can be traced to this Mercury Cazimi moment, but sometimes it's not the most visible part of the process, which makes it tricky to work with on a daily horoscope like this. Are you going to see it, notice it today or tomorrow? Maybe. Sometimes these Cazimis are very powerful in the way they show up and express themselves. Other times, it's what's happening right around this period alchemically that then appears in the following weeks as Mercury makes its morning star appearance. So you have to be keeping that in mind to get the most out of how you track this. I think that's really important to mention because I don't want to mislead people and, overpromise and underdeliver when it comes to astrological tracking. There should be some realism involved in the different ways in which these things can show up. So track this forward to right around the time that Mercury stations direct, which is about August 11th. And oh, by the way, at about that exact same time, there's a conjunction between Venus and Jupiter, the benefics. So you get a feeling that what's coming forth from this Mercury might feel really nice when it makes its appearance because it's appearing at the same time that the benefics are conjoining. So voila, there's something maybe kind of sweet and a little sensitive and very fertile about what's appearing in the next couple of weeks. I love that. I love that there's a cooperative transit in the adjoining sign of Cancer. It's interesting because these are the signs of the lights, the sun and the moon. And in ancient astrology, some astrologers said that these two signs shared a kind of affinity for things happening in their respective signs, even though they don't have an aspect with one another. That could mean quite literally that as Mercury is appearing as the morning star, the conjunction of Venus and Jupiter is very intimately connected, even though there's no aspect. So anyway, it makes for an interesting appearance process, the alchemical sweet spot of which is taking place right now. I want to give you 5 things to watch for given this signature. Let's back this up. Here we go. There's their Cazimi is tomorrow, so we'll set this on Thursday the 31st. But 5 things to watch for given that Mercury is at the heart of the sun. Well, the sun is in its own home sign of Leo. 1, the heart of the sun in the sun's own sign, a sign that was in medical astrology connected with the literal physiological heart, but also Leo's long been associated with the metaphysical heart of things, the source of life itself, the transcendental source of being or consciousness that we have long associated with the luminary of the sun. This heart-centered moment, this could therefore be understood as a heart-centered moment, I should say. The conjunction of Mercury at the heart of the sun could show up just in terms of, I don't know how to describe a heart-centered moment, I guess, other than to say you know it when you're having one. You feel this beaming sense of confidence that's not rooted in anything you can qualify. I think of those days when there's just a knowing that I'm on a path or that something is special or that there's a sense of something meaning something. You discover the meaning of something, or you have that kind of illuminating moment that makes you realize like you're a spirit soul and you've just learned something, or there was a purpose for something. And you go, okay, wow, feels like a higher self is talking to me, or there's a connection with God or the universe that just fills you with a radiant quality of light. Those heart-centered moments are, fleeting, but they keep us alive. They keep us going from one chapter to the next, don't they? I wouldn't be surprised to just see a heart-centered moment with this Cazimi, or to feel that the heart is speaking over the next couple of weeks as Mercury rises into the morning star position coming off the Cazimi. Number 2 would be realizations. Anytime Mercury is at the heart of the sun, in my experience, epiphanies are not uncommon. By an epiphany, I just mean that light bulb that goes off. Mercury at the heart of the sun is like the moment in a process of invention where discovery happens. And then the discovery leads to the new invention that maybe serves a purpose or has a function or a role to play within some setting. But that moment of discovery, of insight, of aha, of light going off, or almost feels like lightning is striking, or suddenly you're in front of a burning bush and it's talking to you. Those are Cazimi moments. And so I wouldn't be surprised to see today, tomorrow, especially And then over the next couple of weeks, as Mercury appears as the morning star, that there's just a process of becoming aware of something, of a realization, maybe that serves to inspire, which is not uncommon for Mercury in the sun's sign, the inspiration. Number 3 would be executive actions. Mercury at the heart of the sun in the sign of Leo might be given the seal of the king, the seal of the queen, the seal of the boss, the CEO, the president, to act on behalf of the ruler or to carry a message or action that has some kind of executive feeling or quality behind it. That's very common for Mercury at the heart of the sun. Any planet Cazimi was sometimes said to be seated on the throne of the king or queen. And so I would see this as a potential for some kind of strong executive, decisive choice, insight, decision, action. Watch for that in the next couple of days. It's possible that something like that is installing itself right now, and that the carry through or the follow through happens over the next couple of weeks. Number 4 would be empowered speech or messages, just the ability to say something, to be empowered to speak something, or to receive an empowered message, or for communication dynamics to be empowered with the light or boldness or clarity of the sun right now is something else that I would not underestimate. Finally, a meditation on transcendent qualities. What is noble? What is moral? What is your legacy? What lasts? What outlives our death? What can we live for that transcends the impermanence of the world? The focus on that which is transcendent, spiritual, everlasting, eternal, ennobling for the spirit. Those are qualities of Leo, of the sun, that Mercury may have us simply meditating on right now. What do I want my life to be aimed toward that's bigger than just success or temporary gratifications or whatever? So some focus or meditation on things that transcend the temporary and live on somehow. Those are the legacy concerns of a Mercury Cazimi in Leo, perhaps. These are the 5 things that I would give you to watch for. Now, let's do some brief horoscopic reminders. These are not going to be full-blown horoscopes. We've already done some. If you look back at the time that Mercury retrograde was just getting started a few weeks ago, you'll find more full-blown horoscopes for Mercury's retrograde. But in the meantime, Aries, and you can listen to this for your sun or rising. The Mercury retrograde, if you're an Aries sun or rising, is in your 5th house. The concern of the 5th house is that of sharing your creative gifts with the world. How are you sharing your gifts with the world right now? What are those gifts? Is there a shift in terms of your creative abilities, or how you share them, or how you give voice to them in the world? I would watch for creative processes, creative illuminations, and insights. Also, questions about what brings pleasure, joy, or satisfaction. This is a house that was called the Joy of Venus. What makes you feel good? What brings light and happiness to your life? In what ways are you being asked to bring the heart into things right now? I think that's especially potent for Aries. We go on to Taurus with the 4th house concern of things like home, family, roots, parents, parenting, family dynamics, living environment, ancestral roots, the internal sphere of life, the private or inner world. How are you being asked to carry something that some of your ancestors carried for part of the journey, and now it's your time to pick it up and continue? Watch for those home, family, root kinds of connections for Tauruses. For Geminis, I think it has to do with your will, your ego, your mind, and how you communicate or express yourself. By what means, by what gifts, by what skills? What are you trying to learn, perfect, hone, develop that represents a substantive part of you, your personality? What are the desires that are leading to the kinds of things you're building or developing as skills or abilities mentally, verbally, or in any other sphere? And what does it mean to be? What does it mean to be proud of who you are without ego? What does it mean to feel confident in who you are without too much ego? I think those are good questions right now. Anything involving siblings could also come up for Geminis. For Cancers, we're talking about the 2nd house. We're talking about time, money, energy, expenditures. We're talking about resources. We are talking about the kinds of things that you have or build or cultivate that act as material security, material comfort, and material ease. The house of your assets, the house of what you have, hold, possess, or how you earn. skills that you develop insofar as they provide support materially, income and expenditures. These are the topics of focus for this Mercury retrograde. We move on to Leo rising, where the question of identity and purpose as it relates to a refined sense of who you are and what matters to you. The first house is existential and psychological. So there's a lot of self-reflection going on for Leos right now, but that may naturally connect to any other area of life as you're getting clear about who you are and are not, what you love and what maybe you don't feel so aligned with. That's going to feed or that's going to carry over into different spheres of life. But it starts with you right now if you're a Leo. For Virgos, this is taking place in the 12th spot, in the 12th house. What is your blind spot? What can't you see that right now this retrograde is giving you some temporary ability to see? That can be really helpful because the things we can't see might be the things that we need to foster and develop because we're blind to some of the greatest parts of ourselves, and being in touch with them can give us greater confidence that they're meaningful parts of ourselves that need to be included. On the other hand, there may be parts of ourselves that undermine us, parts of our lives that aren't so healthy, people or things or places or environments that undermine us versus those that want to support us that we need to reach out for and be more deliberate about including. I would look to that unconscious space for Virgos as the space seeking some voicing right now. For Libras, we're in the 11th house. We're talking about allies, groups, friends, and what provides a sense of social harmony, cohesion, happiness, satisfaction. What are your dreams and aspirations long-term, your big visions for life, especially in the civic, social, professional arena where you're connected to others and some of your happiness is dependent upon how you're seen and how you move about the external world. This is a place that will also meaningfully connect you to other groups of people. And so how is your role within groups or communities or different social spheres developing or being refined right now? For Scorpios, we're talking about the 10th house. That places the retrograde process in this alchemical moment of transformation, not just now, but over the next couple of weeks, in the place of your public role, vocation, job, work in the world, the work environment, power, authority within that space, mastery, and what means the most to you? What is the legacy that you're concerned with? What are the ennobling qualities that give life and light to your career and your sense of purpose in the world? And then any other kinds of organizational or structural changes of perception, communication, technology may be taking place in the work house. All right, so for Sagittarians, we're talking about the 9th house, which is a place of higher understanding, philosophy, convictions, principles. How are your thoughts, ideals, visions, philosophies, and beliefs evolving? Teachers and teachings, subjects that you are learning about, your spiritual practices. How has this retrograde been shaping or continuing to refine your beliefs and understanding of reality or the universe? What are the most ennobling moral and spiritual qualities that can add something of great substance to your life? These are questions that are coming up for Sagittarians with the retrograde in the 9th house. For Capricorn, we're placing this in the 8th house, a place of soul contracts, exchanges. I gift you this, I give you this, I help you with this. And then there's a reciprocity karmically. We're indebted to people, not in just bad ways or difficult ways or tit for tat, cheap, ways, but also ways that really enrich each other's lives. The 8th house is all about those kinds of exchanges, as well as the debts that we have and that other people have to us. This can also be a place where what we have to give and what we're meant to be given is accented. It comes up strongly, perhaps during a retrograde, that soul contracts are under processes of change or revision. Those dynamics can be out of balance too. So this is maybe a time to get them back in balance if they're out. For Aquarians, we're looking at this Mercury retrograde in the 7th house of love and relationships. How is the mirroring of other people, partners, love, sex, intimacy, pleasure as it's connected to interpersonal dynamics, mirroring something back to you about yourself? You've had Pluto in your 1st house now for a little bit. You're starting to go through a pretty profound process of personal death and personal rebirth, the transformation implied by Pluto in the first house. Right now, this recent new moon has pinged right off from the Pluto. You're in the midst of a Mercury retrograde there. A lot that's being said or conveyed to you about your personal process of transformation as the mirroring that happens through other people is being highlighted right now at the same time. So I would watch for relationships to be providing feedback of some kind, or changes within the lives of the people you're closest with to be important to you somehow right now as well. Finally, for Pisces, this is taking place in the 6th house, a place that has to do with the challenges that we have to meet and overcome and persevere through, whether it's in the building and developing of skills, hobbies, abilities, like a house that pays off through hard work and perseverance over long periods of time. Doesn't always pay off right away, and sometimes can feel like just hot work under the hot sun. It can feel a little enslaved. Sometimes there's the challenges of the material world, like sickness or drudgery that we have to overcome, obstacles that we have to overcome, but they're part of how we thrive and build and develop things in this world as well. So what's worth building and developing? Always a question with big processes in the 6th. What is worth your time, energy, effort, sacrifice, and what isn't? What are the ennobling qualities of spirit and legacy that can inform the kinds of sacrifices you're making, or tell you which ones are worth making and, again, which ones aren't? I would also look at this as a process of dealing with maybe some challenges around paternal karma that you have to overcome or work through, or it's like paternal karma could be burning off really for all of us right now with this. But I look at that and I go, yeah, if there's been sickness, illness, or conflict with your father, maybe there's some healing happening right now around some of those very specific subjects. I also like this for Pisceans as a time where if your heart knows it's the right thing for you, it'll be worth the effort. It'll be worth the sacrifice. And this will pass. This won't last forever. Maybe you're even getting some feedback on the right way to work through challenging aspects of life so that you don't lose a feeling of joy while you're doing it. And that's always a question for the 6th house as well. All right. Well, those are just some brief house-focused reminders as we're working with this kind of specific alchemical moment. Remember, between now and about August 11th, Mercury's going to be bringing forth the fruit of this Cazimi as it appears in this new morning star phase. The morning star phase is a little bit more yang. It's expressive, it's bold, it's more assertive. What's coming forth may also have a way of just being a little bit more independent or individual, and the need for Mercury to say something or express something. It's very important to the authentic quality of our heart is what I'm focused on right now. It'll be interesting to see what happens, again, because as it appears, Venus and Jupiter will conjoin in the sign of Cancer. And there is this kind of weird, bizarre, beautiful connection between Cancer and Leo being the homes of the lights that ancient astrologers observed. So is it a mistake that the Venus-Jupiter conjunction, maybe the most benefic conjunction of the year, is happening right as Mercury appears in the sign of the Lion at the time of dawn? You know, it's pretty beautiful to think about it that way. Anyhow, one last thing I wanted to share with all of you, something that I really recommend in particular for your altar practice this week, and I didn't think about this on Monday, but I'm thinking about it now, is first of all, I just want to emphasize the importance of candlelight. When Mercury's at the heart of the sun in a fire sign, something that I think you could get a lot out of, you see my candles there, and I've talked about what's on my altar this week already on Monday, but something that you may actually get a lot out of this week would be simple candle gazing, meditation in front of or near light. I'm also really excited to be announcing in the next week or two our first Silent Sunday meeting, which will be happening at the end of August. Something that's been in the works for a while, and we'll offer people a place to get together. And if meditation is hard for you to do on your own, maybe it's a little easier to do in community. So I'll be providing just a space to come and enjoy some sacred silence once a month on Sundays. And I'll be telling you more about that as well. But this week, take out a candle, meditate on it today, tomorrow. As Mercury's passing through the heart of the sun, it's amazing how being intentional about the element of fire it can actually convey some of the messages that Mercury may have for us right now. Like, just sit and look at fire. So anyway, I hope you're having a good one. And I can't wait for you to meet our new co-hosts over the next 2 days. We'll be doing our monthly overview for August and then horoscopes for August with a whole new cast of co-hosts that are just amazing. And you'll be seeing our co-hosts from last year, Alex, Dana, Whitney, Alexander, doing some bonus content on weekends starting in August as well. So I want this to be a space of community that develops the talent and success of other astrologers. In that way, speaking of legacy and things of transcendent value, I feel that my career is serving the greater astrological tradition. And I think that's really important. So anyway, on that note, I hope you're having a good one. We'll see you again soon. Bye.